This weekend's Andros Harvest Fest, also dubbed a huge success. Central Andros now has two major cultural events to call their own: Crab Fest and Harvest Fest. Julian Gibson spoke with Andros Tourism Manager Peter Douglas on how these cultural events will give Central Andros a much-needed economic boost.
Mr. Peter Douglas, staging events like the Andros Crab Fest and the Andros Harvest Fest, it's a taxing venture that requires a lot of dedicated volunteers and financial resources.
Tremendous amount of work goes into planning them, and the biggest problem that we have, the first one is funding and getting committed sponsors, and also getting full community involvement, because you have a small population in these areas and the human resources is easily worn out and taxed. And one of the things I've been trying to grow for years is local homegrown entertainment, and that's why last night you saw a homegrown Junkanoo group that we're trying to really bring here to Andros, which will be an important part of our cultural entertainment at these festivals.
Now for Peter Douglas, there's no greater pleasure for him when at the end of the day, vendors are left with a financial smile.
It means a lot, not only for me, but for the community. A lot of vendors and people who supply vendors all look forward to these events because it supports their income so that they can have a better standard of living, and it's important. Festivals are important to us to develop our domestic tourism in the Family Islands.
Now with the conclusion of the Andros Harvest Fest, the concentration now will be Andros Crab Fest 2015.
Once festivals get to a certain size, like Crab Fest, you need more funding and greater participation from all of the stakeholders. You have a lot of the stakeholders who make money off the event. There's very little to sponsor and build the event. So it becomes more, instead of a symbiotic relationship, becomes parasitic, means everybody is preying on the event and putting nothing into it to develop it and evolve it to something better and more entertaining.
What's the budget for Crab Fest?
Crab Fest budget runs anywhere from $100,000+ to $150,000.
Reporting for the ZNS News Network, I'm Julian Gibson.